And here we go. So you should be able to see my screen. Let me go back to this. And here we go. So I hope you all had a great weekend. It's finally getting warmer. Well, it's cold today, but it's sunny out, so that's good. So we have a mix of two groups. We have people that are today's day one, and we have other people that might be on their third, and then others that are on their ninth week. So how are things going? We have a mix. So if anybody wants to share, what we are doing is we're making sure that we, in the agreement that we signed, we have 5 contacts every day, and that can be text, back and forth phone conversation. It can be direct message on social media, going back and forth about real estate, right? So we want to make sure it's real estate related. And the idea is purposeful conversations every day. And that is, it seems like people that have those conversations get business. So it's kind of the point. It's, on purpose, having conversations, with people you know. So that was the first thing. And then we have geofarms that we've done, past customers, we non-owner occupied people that own houses. A lot of us have lists of these things. And if you don't, we can always do it. Lisa's working Navy Fed, nice. Excellent. Okay, so the main thing is you're having these purposeful conversations, and then a lot of people feel like they don't have enough people in their circle of influence. So adding another person every day to your sphere of influence 5 days a week will increase your sphere. And so that's another purposeful thing. So we meet people all the time. We wear our name badge, go out to dinner, where, get to know the servers, mailman, anybody that we talk to, we can get their information and add them to our sphere of influence to increase our business. So just remember, this is what we do. And then the last one is anybody that we talk to that we have a good conversation with, send out on a letter to them. I was so nice to meet you. So that was another thing. If you don't have letters, you can reach out to me. I'll send you some links of where you can get some nice postcards that are easy. Just write something simple and send them out. Okay, so let's make sure we're doing this. And okay, so we're springing ahead. I'll make a promise to yourself, complete the activities. Okay, so you have that letter, review it, make sure you're completing the activities. Add 1 contact every day. Call your sphere. That is where most of your business will come from. Text, email, whatever you need to do. Rates just went down, by the way. That's a nice thing to talk about. I think it's 5.99 conventional, and that was last Thursday. So if they've changed again, I don't know. And 5 conversations a day. Looking for 1 appointment a week for the first month. The second month, we're going to turn that into 2. So you're looking to turn conversations into appointments and then find and hold an open house. So we went through how to find open houses, which I will do again. But let's get started. So today's session is mastering the art of handling objections. And Sydney created this session. It's pretty good. And she wanted to make sure I get this across. Objection handling is not manipulation. It's getting down to what people really want to do. So we have a lot of objection handling things. It's to help people just keep moving forward with whatever it is that they want to accomplish in their life. So let's look at that. Okay, first we have our objective. So at the end of this session, you're going to understand the psychology and how to identify behind the objection. So not every objection is an objection. It's looking for a way to move forward. Sometimes it's not an objection because they're not ready to talk about it. And other times it's a gift. They're looking for the next step. So we're going to look at that. Learn how to identify the real objections. Master the best strategies to overcome resistance and close deals. Practice handling common objections with scripts and role play. So that is the idea. And we do have a lot of people that want to do role play groups. So if you would like to send me an email and tell me when you would like to do it, I'll try to get something together for you. Okay, any questions on that? Anything anybody want to add? Okay. So I'm looking forward to this. All right, let me do it the real way. Hang on. Wrong one. This is one of the things I sent, by the way. And there we go. Okay, this has to leave. I'm going to move this for a minute. Okay. Okay, first thing, why do clients give objections? So the fact objections are not rejections. A lot of times we think they are. Are you ready to move forward? No, we're not really. Are you interviewing any other agents? Yes, I am. I'm meeting with somebody on Tuesday. So it's not always an objection. They're a sign that the client is engaged but uncertain. They're not ready to commit to you yet. The three main reasons clients object. One is fear. They're afraid of making the wrong decision. Two, uncertainty. They're afraid of, they need more information to feel confident. And three, stalling. They don't feel the urgency and need a push. Your job is to uncover the real objection. So, fear, uncertainty, and stalling. I think we can all relate to that. Fear, it's genuine. They're just afraid they're going to make a wrong decision. Uncertainty, they need more information. Stalling, a lot of times that happens with two people. So one is more engaged than the other. So one is trying to stall. So the idea is uncover what's happening here. Okay, so the golden rule of objection handling, identify the real objection, what not to do. Don't assume you know the reason why they're hesitating. So assuming is never a good thing. Don't argue or get defensive. Don't let the conversation end too soon. Okay? What to do? Stay calm and curious. Ask questions to dig deeper. Refrain their concern as a stepping stone to closing the deal. So I like to do something on my desk. I have a notepad all the time and I write down who, what, when, where, why, because objections need open-ended conversations to get to the bottom of things. So stay curious is what you want to do. Ask a question to dig deeper. For example, tell me more. Can you think of any other questions you could ask to dig deeper? Okay, so like that's a good point. A lot of people feel that way. I'm just going to share something that I um, sent to you. A lot of times with objections, one of the things that we're taught, repeat whatever they said, approve. That means, so if you said, we're just not, we're thinking about it, but we're not ready to move forward. Oh, so you're not sure, you want a better reasons to move forward. I can understand that. A lot of people feel that way. Let me ask you two questions. And then you ask, if I found the perfect house for you, would that make a difference? Tell me more about your fear. What's making you? Are you afraid you're not going to find what you're looking for? Yeah, we're afraid we're going to get stuck. We're going to sell our house and we're not going to find a house and we're going to be stuck between two houses. Okay, well, let's talk more about that. So we can handle those kind of objections, but you repeat what they say. That shows you're not repeating like a parrot. You're reframing, you're telling so that they know that you're listening. Then approve. So approving is a lot of people feel that way. You're not alone. I hear that all the time. That makes sense. Can you tell me more? And then ask two questions. So if you were, say, wanting to sell your home and you were an expired listing and you said, I'm not sure if I want to put it on the market. Well, if I had a buyer right now, what should I do with them? That is a good question, right? So you ask questions, and you want to have lots of questions you can ask that will share with them, are they ready to move forward? Okay. So the key, though, is stay calm. Ask questions to dig deeper, reframe their concern as a stepping stone to closing the deal, depending on what it is and how ready they are. So dig deeper question framework. Whenever you hear an objection, use these questions to find the real issue. Clarification questions. Can you help me understand what's holding you back? Is it the timing or the price or something else? So, depending on what your conversation is, these are great clarification questions. Pain point questions. What would need to happen for you to feel confident in moving forward? So I agree, Jay. That makes total sense what you just said. What would need to happen for you to feel confident in moving forward? And then the next one, have you had a bad experience with this process before? Sometimes you just can't get over, they can't get over something. There's something there. You feel it. So you say, have you had this experience before? Have you had a bad experience? Okay. And then they'll open up. Solution-oriented questions. So clarification questions, pain point questions, and solution-oriented questions. If we could find a way to address your concern, would you be ready to move forward? Let's say we solve the issue. What else would stop you from making a decision today? So I want you to write down the last three objections you received. And then we will together apply a framework for that. Okay. I'm going to keep this open for a minute. So if you've done an open house lately, if you have showed houses, if you've gone on a listing presentation and didn't get it, if you're making calls and you're not breaking through, write down whatever it was. And let's see if we can use this to reframe. All right. I am going to. Anybody want to participate? What kind of
Um,
objections have you had? Or do we want to do a breakout? I'm going to do a breakout.
no, I'm
I'm going to do it. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing for a minute and breakout. I'm going to sign automatically. All right, you guys, unmute and join the rooms. Looks like you're in my room, Carrie. All you have to do is click join.
I I think I oh wait, hang on, I've got a phone call.
Okay. Oh, are you on your phone?
Hang on.
Okay.
Am I in your room or that
You are
join
not
window
in my
went
room.
away?
Did you see the join
Yeah, and I didn't,
area?
and now it's gone.
So I love what Sydney said. She said, make sure people know this is not about manipulating. It is about helping people move forward with it, a good decision. I love that because so many times we feel as salespeople, especially learning scripts and things like that, oh, it's this magic thing because it really is true. We can probably get people to do whatever we want when you start using these type of things, like, repeat what they said, approve, which is the same thing. You're making them feel good about whatever their decision is, and then ask two questions and then help them move forward. And that's what close is. It's moving forward. So I shared these with you. Some of these are really good closing statements. If I sold your house in 30 days, would that be a problem for you? If you are going after a listing and they're hesitating. Now, sometimes it is a problem because they might be afraid of where they're going. So they don't always work, but it does help you navigate the minefield that you're in. Um, Approving statements, I respect your views. That's certainly an option. We're the same. Jay, you and I, we're the same. It makes you feel like we're on the same mindset. I agree. I don't blame you for feeling that way. I understand. So what I'm hearing is exactly. That's a great point. I'm so glad you brought that up. And then the who, what, when, where, these are great start question starters. Do you, would you, are you, have you? And then, and other things that will help you get out of what you're stuck in. What would you do differently? You know what the best thing is about whatever it is. If I'm coming out on a listing presentation, the best thing about meeting with me, it's free. It only takes about 20 minutes and there's no obligation. Sometimes just breaking it down into the simpleness of it when you're trying to get that appointment helps.
Senator Representative Overkill, and Sylvia's just like,
Okay, I'm just gonna mute. Okay, next. So anybody want to share what happened just now? Were you able to come up with an objection and work through it? Okay, so Julie, sorry we got cut off. I definitely want to talk about the situation.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
I got a lead from the lead engine and I called and it's a husband who's found out his wife is cheating and we got to sell our house, right? So
Wow.
I go through they're young. I go through financing with them. Neither one of them can possibly, unless they have a co-signer, which he says neither of them do. Neither of them are would be able to finance this home by themselves. So I met with him. The wife is gone on an out-of-town field trip with the kid. And so I meet with him. The house is disgusting. It needs some minor repairs. They have three big dogs living in the house. It's pretty crazy, but so I meet with him. I get him to sign a 6-month listing agreement, and I'm like, and I tell him like this holds no weight until she signs it, but this is a stepping stone. So he asked me to call her several days later. She sent me the voicemail. I left a message. He asked me a week later to please shoot her a text. And I did. And then, of course, he's asked me to message her again. And I'm like, look, I can't keep harassing her. I can't make her want to sell her home. Um, so anyway, he signed the listing agreement at 6%. But then and I forgot to say this part in my breakout room, but he later told me that her friend is also a school teacher, but does real estate on the side. And she was their agent when they bought the home 3 years prior. And that she's probably going to want to use the agent. And so I talked with him about our fees, and I'm like, I would be willing to do 2% if her friend would do 2%, and then we can offer 2% to a buyer's agent. And he was like, I don't even know what that means, but okay, great. So I can't get the girl to call me back. She's actually since then changed the locks, kicked him out, refused to let him in. His attorney told him he needed to go home. She came home one day and he was there, and then she filed a restraining order against him. So I don't know what to do to get this girl to even talk to me.
Well, good for you for going as far as you have. I think following the advice of the attorney is good. Maybe ask her for her attorney. You can't do anything until you get her agreement too. You could send all the documents via zip forms to get signed and just instead of doing the signature, just email her them. And, I would talk to your manager. Who's your manager? Ken? Or
Sandy.
Sandy, okay. So talk to Sandy, get some ideas about that with her. I know here I'm not, that's unusual to co-list with another agent that's not part of your company. So you'd have to like figure that one out.
Yeah, I did already talk to Sandy about that,
Oh,
and
good.
she knows that agent, and she said that she would be easy to work with, and Sandy agreed. She was
Great.
questioning me dropping down to 2%. And I'm like, I'm a brand new agent, you
Well, and
know.
that's a good thing, Julie. I would just say before you have a question, you go to the client about commission, always talk to management first. Because most of the time we can give you some good ideas that won't involve that.
Okay.
And what you want to do is just say, you know what, I'm going to talk to my company about that and let's see what we can do. Because the seller did not know what you were talking about. You were trying to solve a problem based on your own fear. That most of the time people are okay with paying the commission. It's not an issue. But if we make it an issue because we're afraid, then now we're going down that rabbit hole, you know?
Yeah. Well, the issue is this: they bought this house in September 2021 when prices here were out the roof. And now the house needs a ton of work.
Right.
So
And they don't have
just getting
yeah.
them to break even is going to be a task.
Listen, I have been through those kind of markets and people come to the closing table with their credit cards and we can put their commission, on any kind of thing that we can do. And we find ways to make it work. So don't worry, we will help you sort this out. But, I got to say, you probably just learned a lot, right?
Yeah,
So that
sure.
is good for you. That's great. And that's how we learn. We
Thank
learn
you.
by going through the experiences. And you know what? You're creative. You connected the dots, came up with some really good ideas. And the only thing that I wouldn't agree to was the commission cutting without talking to your manager first. And those kind of things, I usually make people come to the office and have a talk in person with that kind of a thing too. Why don't we get together? Let's talk it out. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Any other situations that you guys went through that you'd like to share? All right. So let's look at the part three. The most common objections and how to handle them. So I just want to go back for a minute because I think this is worth noting. All right. So this was the dig deeper framework, clarification questions, pain point questions, solution oriented questions. Okay. And then this it was part two, what not to do. Don't assume you know why they're hesitating. We have to ask more questions. Make sure we don't get defensive and don't let the conversation end too soon. And this is really true when you're making calls. Don't let the conversation end too soon. Try at least 5 times to get that appointment before you give up. No matter what, don't take it personally. Stay calm. Ask questions to dig deeper and refrain their concern as a stepping stone to going to the next step. So you're clarifying, we're not manipulating. Okay, so then part three, these are the 5 most common objections and how to handle them. So we want to think about it. Who here has had a we want to think about it come up so far? Anybody? We want to think about it. Not
Yes,
ready to
I
move
have.
forward.
I'm looking for my thumbs up thing, but I can't find it. Yes, I have had that.
Good. So what does that really mean? Fear of commitment because they need more information. So response. I completely understand this is a big decision. What specifically are you still unsure about? Let's go over any concerns so you feel confident moving forward. So we want to think about it. There are many ways to handle this objection. Another way is, I completely understand this is a big decision. What specifically are you still unsure about? Well, we just want to sleep on it. We want to think it over. We're not getting to the bottom, but sometimes it's because they don't want to share with us what they really want to think about because it's personal. If it's, husband and wife, it could be a divorce. It could be they're not sure they want to get divorced. I mean, and today living is expensive. And when people get divorced, a lot of times they're thinking maybe we should just stay here and we'll map out the house into like 2 houses because they can't afford to move. So it's sometimes that's how it is. But that's not realistic. That's not a real plan. They're not going to probably be happy doing that, and they're probably going to change their mind. So sometimes when they get to that point, we just want to think it over. You could say something like, let's go ahead and sign the contract, and then you can sleep on it. I will call you first thing in the morning. If you tell me, Jody, we don't want to go forward, I'll rip up the contract. How does that sound? Because they really don't want to have to keep meeting with you, right? This is work for them too. This is their time. Time's valuable today. So don't be afraid to come up with something creative. And, um, that is something you could do without asking managers, because I'm giving you permission right now. So at least Sometimes we're afraid to do things because we think, oh, would somebody have a problem if I did this, right? But in this kind of situation, that would not be a problem, Julie. So think about it, sign the contract, I'll call you in the morning. I'm going to tell my photographer to go out there tomorrow. Uh, but if in the morning you change your mind, I'll rip up the contract, I'll cancel the appointment. So, or let's go over any concerns you want to have. All right, so we want to think about it is number one. Number two, we don't want to list until we find our next home. So in Destin and Niceville, that's not an issue because there's a lot of houses on the market. The inventory is huge. They have like 6 months worth of inventory. We have like a month. So for us, our biggest objection right now is we don't want to list until we find our next home. So what it really means, fear of being left homeless and not understanding the timing of the market. Response, that makes sense. But in this market, waiting could mean missing out on both selling for top dollar and securing a great home. Let's explore a game plan that would smooth this transition out. Would that help? Any ideas on what you could do here? What could we write into any offer we get? And as long as we put it in the MLS.
Contingent upon seller finding a home.
Yeah, contingent upon seller finding home. And so do you feel like that's workable? Is that doable? It is. I just had one of the agents, he's not here, Jeff Sylvester. He listed his brother's house, put that in the contract, got a great offer, and then just got another offer accepted. So he got a great offer. They have all the inspections done. They have mortgage commitment. They put an offer on another house and they got it accepted because of that. So it does work. You can come up with a game plan. And, in the reverse is true too. Let's say I'm buying a house and I'm afraid my house isn't going to sell. Well, I can do a Hubbard clause. I can say the house I'm buying is subject to the house that I live in now selling. And it works. It makes it a little more difficult, but people are willing to take a risk. What the agents will do is look at the house, see what it's listed for, and what they think about the price. And your energy, your enthusiasm, the fact that you're gonna do an open house this weekend, that you're gonna put everything you've got into this to get this house sold. That also is a factor for the next agent taking your deal. Okay? So coming up with a strategy, and if you need help, you can reach out to us. We have many strategies. All right, next. We think our house is worth more. Carrie, I love everything you said, but I think my house is worth more. What do we say? So you're sitting with them one-on-one, you're at the listing presentation, they're ready to sign, but they think their house is worth more. Now, if I'm in Connecticut, I'm probably okay with a little more. If I'm in Destin or that, the Panhandle, I'm probably not okay with going up higher because prices are still going down because their inventory is increasing. So what that really means is emotional attachment, unrealistic expectation, misinformation. Maybe they talk to their mother, brother, friends. Every town has a different scenario. Every state has a different scenario. There's a lot of rumors out there. So what is the real truth about the market? That's what we are giving them. That's all the statistics, everything we do. So let's walk through the data together so we can just take a look at this. So if it was Connecticut, I would be like, I'm okay with that. Let's see what happens. We might not have a bidding war. Instead, we'll have less showings, but honestly, we could probably get more money if you start lower because then when you do have a bidding war. But if you really feel that way, I'm willing to do it. Okay, in Destin, I would go through the comparables again. Let's just look at these. I don't, because the market is still going down. I don't want you to lose more money. Okay. The next, we're waiting for the market to improve. Okay. We're waiting for the market to improve. So we hear that all the time, in both areas. What that really means is fear of timing it wrong, lack of urgency. So in both cases, you're chasing the market down in one sense and you're chasing the market up in another. So the house it depends on what you're buying. So if what I'm selling is a starter home, if I wait, my home will be worth less if the houses that we want to buy end up being worth less. If I wait until the interest rates go down, what's going to happen? The prices will go up. So I totally understand how you feel. However, waiting can be risky. Interest rates, buyer demand, all the market shifts are unpredictable. Would you be open to reviewing the numbers and weighing the pros and cons of listing right now? So the idea is get them involved in the conversation because really most people want to move. That's why you're there. They really want to move. This is work. So the more you can talk numbers, the better off you are. And do it by asking questions. How much more would you be willing to pay if we have to wait? So you're uncovering what their true sense of urgency is. Oh, this is a good one. Anybody hear this? Your commission is too high. Okay, what it really means, they don't see your value, so they want to negotiate. That's why we have an 18-point plan of action. That's why we have the amazing presentations that we use that have all of our best practices that we do to get more eyeballs on the listing, to get somebody that's willing to pay top dollar into the house. So what that really means, your commission is too high. They don't see your value or they want to negotiate. I completely understand waiting to maximize your profit, wanting to maximize your profits. I understand that. The real question is, do you want to save a little on commission or net the most money possible? A strong marketing strategy often results in higher offers. Let's talk about how I ensure you walk away with the most profit. Okay. So what could you say here that you feel would be reasonable? Your commission is too high.
I would use that as an opportunity to just show them the different marketing strategies that I have available, pull up some of the informational marketing that we have online, the different resources that we have available. I would use that as a time to be able to kind of go over some of the ways to market the property.
Excellent. So when we did the listing presentation, we had the listing and I have one right here. So we have the listing presentation and we have all of the data. Okay, so some of the things on here is 50 years of experience. Century 21 has a 97% satisfaction rating. 50 years of experience, the most recognized name, the most respected brand in the industry. Why? Because we get people more money. Dominating the online scene with 2.4 million visitors per month. More eyeballs on your listing from all over the world. People outside of the area more often than not pay more money than the people coming from the area. So we cast a wider net with digital ad campaigns, ongoing promotions, retargeting tools with artificial intelligence, additional marketing outreach. and really good professional photos. You know, you find a lot of reasons why homes don't sell is because they don't have good photos. So having professional photos, having a good photographer can make a big difference. A lot of people buy homes sight unseen if the photos are good. So in the presentation, with the listing presentation, it has pages and pages and pages of this. Okay, the real-time lead capture program that we have called Leads Engine. When you get a lead, they go to your phone while they're online. It's real-time lead capture. So that most of the time, the first person that has the best conversation or a good conversation, any conversation with a client, a potential customer online, that's the person they end up working with. And that's, you know, online leads. Hey, I'm ready to go right now. Why don't we meet at the house? Give me your name and your email address. I just have to confirm it with the owner. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to go right now. But you're showing your ability to move right now in real time. So your commission is too high means they don't see your value. So let's have a talk about our value. Okay. Do you like those? All right. I want you to write down uh, one of these that you're willing to role play. So we don't want to move until we find our next home. That's one. We think our home is worth more. Two. We're waiting for the market to improve. Three. Your commission is too high. So pick one of them. I thought there were five. Hang on. Oh, and we want to think about it. That's five. Want to think about it. We don't want to list until we find our next home. We think our home is worth more. We're waiting for the market to improve, rates to come down, whatever that means. You know what? We feel your commission is too high. So one of those, and we're going to role play this, okay? And I'm going to do a group again. And you guys ready to go into a group? This is good. Are we happy with this? Okay. And I'm going to open the rooms. So unmute your mics. So how'd it go? I can tell that smile in us. So you want to share. Yeah, you want to share. Anybody want to share? What?
I'll share.
Okay.
We had similar kind of things of the wanting to wait for either prices to change or either like rates to go down, people just not kind of being realistic with their expectations. So we kind of talked through that and kind of what um we've been saying to people or kind of like, you know, the objections we've been getting and kind of like how to combat that. We had two very similar kind of situations.
So tell me more. How do you handle the objection?
Um, well, Jacqueline went first, but she was more of the like people, you know, they either are waiting to even just take the first step of going to get pre-approved, or when you're talking to them about what they want, they're giving you, I want a 3 or 4 bedroom, 2 or 3 bath, but also I can only afford 250,000. So
That's true. You sort of wonder, is this a lead? I'm not sure if this is a lead.
so you're
Yep.
just kind of running in circles, like you're trying to, you're almost like you know you're not going to get anywhere with these people with what they're telling you of like, oh yeah, I'm thinking of looking and this is what I want, and you're like, that's just not what's, you know, in the
Well,
market right
and you
now.
know what? Until they get realistic, maybe we don't want to deal with them. So you just keep them on an MLS drip so they can see, maybe sometimes. Do you think that those objections are objections or reasons not to move forward because they're not committed?
It's probably a little bit of both, really, but I think it's their unawareness or, their wants versus what they can afford. And what do
Right.
they really need? I mean, everybody wants a big, beautiful home with, probably a guest room and an extra bath that they really don't need, right? And I think, like you said, the MLS drip is so critical for to bring them back to reality. Like this is what's, going. These are the houses that are selling for what price and for what square footage. And it has 3 bedrooms, but it has 1 bathroom. Maybe you can build a bath later on. You know what I mean? Look at the
Yeah.
home's potential.
So
So I think
if
it's a little bit of both.
and what I would just say is this, if you don't own a home now and you're going through this process, then you're not building wealth. The pain point is you're losing money every month because you're paying for rent that you're not going to get anything back. Whereas if you had your own home, you'd be paying down your mortgage and increasing equity. And even if you're in the panhandle and you're not increasing equity, it happens all at once. I mean, in 2020, that's when everyone's house took $100,000 upgrade in Connecticut, right? And then another 100 between then and now. So if I had two houses, I make 400,000. If I have one house, I make 100,000 or, 200,000. And the higher the price, a lot of times the more equity I get the bump on because it's proportionate to the percentage. So, looking at the numbers in this price range, how much have houses gone up? In this price range, how much? In this price range, how much? And you can do that easy in the stats. So that's, sometimes, well, let me ask you a question. How much money do you think we'll lose if we don't make a decision in the next year, in the next 6 months? If you had bought a house a year ago, how much money would you have made at this point? So if the reason they're doing it is because of money, then that's even more of a reason to just buy something to get into the market. So you can start at least increasing your equity, and then you can move up to your next house in 2 years, 3 years. I would just say this. I've never had a past client tell me they wish they didn't buy a house in my career. I've had plenty tell me they wish they had. I wish I'd listened to you. I wish I'd listened to you. Making these payments is nothing. I can't believe how worried I was. Like that is the kind of conversations that you hear. So, we're the good guys. We're helping them. Okay. Let's just see. Um, Sharing my screen again. Anybody else want to share? I would love you to share. Okay. So, where am I? All these things in the way. I can't see what I'm doing. Here we go. Okay. Takeaway. Objections aren't rejections. So that's one of the first things. They're not rejections. They're an opportunity to provide clarity. Dig deeper with the right questions to uncover the real issue. Confidence and persistence are key. Keep the conversation going. Final challenge for the next 7 days. Track every objection you get. Write it down. And then how did you handle it? The more you practice, the more deals you'll close. Many, many times as a newer agent, I thought I had run against a roadblock, and then they go with another agent and they get exactly what they wanted. And you wonder, what did I do wrong? What I did wrong probably was not asking enough questions. Okay, so if you have been doing this a while and you find you're not making appointments or building your pipeline or securing contracts, if you're having a hard time, ask yourself why. So I find that vision, mission, focus mindset, that is such a key to what we do. So make sure you have this down. If you haven't done this exercise, do it again. Write down, what is your vision? I see myself as a top agent in my marketplace. My vision. What is my mission? So to me, mission is everything. Mission is everything. When you talk to any top agent, at some point in their life, they had to make a living. It was not a question. You end up in a situation, and the reason that you had to make a living to provide a great life for my family, to pay off college debt, to whatever it is, whatever is in your life, you need to have a mission. Mission is everything. Sometimes your mission is to help other people. That's great. If you can't do it for yourself and your family, then helping other people, come up with something that moves you. And then focus on the activities that are going to get you where you want to go. Just every day, write down what you're going to do today. This is what I'm going to accomplish. I'm at least going to do one thing. If you figure it out the night before or in the morning, then you will stay on track. And your mission is what inspires you to do it. So keep executing, keep pushing yourself, and believe. So believe that this works. Believe the conversations work. Calling your circle of influence works. We have agents that are selling houses already, Anissa. 3 weeks, got a listings, it sold from someone she knew. And this is because she's having conversations with everybody she knows. And that's really what it is. And, if it didn't happen yet, doesn't mean it's not going to. It is going to. This time of year is when it happens. So you have been working. Those of you that have been doing this all winter, guess what? They were hibernating. Now the sun is out. They're going to start popping out of the woodwork. And if you keep making the calls, you're going to have more business than you're going to know what to do with. It's all going to happen at once, and we're here to help you. So keep doing it. Keep your foot on the gas. Okay? So make sure you put in your request to marketing for your whatever you need, CMA, a flyer for knocking on doors. You want to do your sphere of influence, and you want to do another one for your geo farm. So email that to c21jobrequest@gmail.com. For those of you just joining us, make sure you have your leads engine phone number. Whoops. Which is here, 903-294-4442. That's where your leads come from. Make a note of that and make sure that is in your phone as a contact that says money or leads or something. So you make sure you take every opportunity you can get. And then there are a lot of videos on here to help you with the MLS and these master classes. I have more too. I'll put more in here. They're really good. I put my favorites on here. So they're Robert Perriello, Personality Styles is probably my favorite. Okay. And so we're going to have our call this week. I'd like, when I talk to you, just tell me how many contacts you've made so far. and any appointments, what you might need help with. And the last thing is if you want to start a role play group, when, where, how do you want to do it, if you want to do it. So role playing is important that you get to know the scripts, but you can also just say it out loud. Record yourself on your phone and listen when you're driving. So all the scripts that we have, just keep remembering to ask questions. You've got this. Next week, we're going to do expireds and for sale by owners. Okay. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, gang.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Jody.
Thanks,
Bye.
Joe.
Great day.
I'm so glad you came. It's so good to see everybody. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Jody.
Bye-bye. Bye.